Like a Japanese cowboy or a brother on skates.
Welcome to episode 75 of Viva Physical
Diamond
Media.
Jubilee.
Oh, yeah.
Where are our fucking diamonds?
Where are our fucking diamonds?
Put a ring on it.
75, though. That's a lot of episodes. Thank you guys for watching. If you've been here since the start, let us know in the comments. If it's your first time here, be like, hey, let us know. Either way, I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here. I'm always happy to be here.
You are?
Yeah, every single time.
Oh, good. We have some fun stuff coming up with Scarecrow.
We're fundraising.
Fundraising right now. Fundraising.
If you donate it $150, you will get this T-shirt.
And I'll slap Matt across the face.
That's fine too.
Not for $150. That's not a lot. That's not a lot.
So wait.
'Cause I feel like people will do that, and then I'll slap you a bunch.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, we can sign a T-shirt or two.
Yeah, I'll sign a shirt.
I'll sign a shirt.
But that's going to cost you more than $150. That's going to cost you like twice as much. If you want an autographed
Twice
one.
as much?
Yeah, $300.
I'll sign your shirt for an extra $50.
Sell it out.
That's what they call me, Emalie Sellout Soderback. Up to $50,000, your donation is matched, which means you are richer now than you ever have been, and you can do better things with your money.
$1 is $2. $2 is $4. One slap is two slaps.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It could happen.
It could happen. And
Let's go.
that means $50 is $100. I wish that was real.
If you
know what I
had
mean?
like
Like,
$50,
yeah.
it was like magic. Now it's
All this-
$100.
There's like a mystery benefactor in our lives that just doubled our
Just
money.
batched all your money.
But that's what's real here in Scarecrow.
When
so
I was
that's really
when I
cool.
was a little kid, I was like my mom.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Just
I have
go
50
to the
cents.
bank. The bank was a place. Just write a check.
Yeah, exactly.
Magic money slips.
Yeah.
When was the last time you wrote a check? Yeah, right?
I write one every month for rent.
Oh, you still write checks for rent?
I pay my rent with an app.
I send mine via online banking. How do you pay your rent? Let us know in the comments. Just kidding. We don't care.
We don't
but
care.
we're doing a fundraiser, fun fundraiser, and
It's a fundraiser.
we will be having some fun stuff coming up in May too.
Yes, possibly like a whole thing, like a special.
A whole special starring us and some great guests and little pieces of the store and cool interviews, stuff like that.
I think it'll be good.
I think it'll be fun.
But it's not going to be like one of our live streams. It's going to be like a whole other thing.
No, but you can still, when we have more info, we'll let you know, and you can still prepare for it and watch it and interact with us, same as always, and be involved as best you can.
You can, will, and should.
Yes. If you have an extra buck or two, head our way with it, and it'll be doubled, and you can be part of keeping us around and keeping these movies accessible to all and keeping us on your YouTube. So, SIF's coming up. And I think it's May 13th. I am introducing... there's a documentary on Rainier,
What?
and I am introducing it. So you guys should all come out. It's at the Egyptian. I think
Sick.
May 13th.
That'll be good.
It's called Rainier, A Beer Odyssey.
Have you watched it?
No.
You haven't seen a
I haven't
screener
seen
of it
it
yet?
yet, no.
You're just like, I'll do it. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I was like, if not.
Are
me
they
who?
giving out free
If not
Rainiers
me,
at the
who?
movie?
I don't know. If I was in charge of it, they would. But
This
come
is-
and watch a documentary about Rainier beer.
That's both probably why you're not in charge of more stuff, but also why you should be.
I know it. I know it very well. Anything cool with you going on, or just kind of?
I'm getting a new couch tomorrow.
Oh hell yeah, yeah! You said you're getting an L.
Yeah, it's like an L-shaped couch.
like sectional. Is that what they're
Uh-huh.
called?
Yeah, that's what they call
Have
that.
you tried it out yet, or did you
No,
just pick it
no,
online?
no. Lauren got it online.
Cool. Well, you still have to have like a little housewarming thing,
We will. Don't worry.
or did you already?
No, we haven't yet. We will.
Okay, we'll see.
You're all invited
Yeah.
for $300.
For $300. What else? I'm gonna go see Abigail tomorrow with my little sister and my little brother. A family affair, if you will. That will be fun.
This is good for the people to know.
I think so. I'm just kind of thinking of like
My
just
dad
like
saw
stuff.
Abigail last week.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Did he like it?
He did.
I heard it was fun. So why not? What else is going on? I don't know, man. I'm tired. But I'm here and I've been watching
think it's
movies.
time to start the show.
And you think it's time to start?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it.
Mailbag! Wow. That was tight.
That smoothed the edges of my brain. It felt nice. We have But one mailbag.
Unbog. From our good friend,
Unbog.
Sandra
Sandra with
Sindra,
our mailbag.
who will be here very shortly after
talk
this
about
mailbag.
SEX.
To talk about SEX.
All right, Sandra says, hello. If
Hi.
Lily and Louise, our dogs, starred in their very own dog movie, what celebrity would you want to voice their inner monologue a la Homeward Bound XOXOX Sandra?
That's a good question.
It's good, but it's oh so hard.
I didn't have that hard of a time with it.
Because for me, my dog is she is but a child. She is a small babino, and she doesn't have a celebrity voice. She's just her baby self. But I've thought it over, and I'm going to say Drew Barrymore in E.T.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yes, because she's spunky, but she's still just a little baby girl. But she's full of adventure, and she's ready to play. That was my friend Corey's Tinder bio.
Well, I told him to talk now. He can talk now.
Yeah, he's married now, so
Well, it worked.
it worked.
Mine was wasn't Tinder, but I used Lego people live in houses made of their own flesh.
Very cool.
It worked.
And look at you.
Yeah, getting a new couch.
I think mine was given this was 8 years ago, so mine was film, feminism, white wine. Anyways, enough with our Tinder bios. Who's gonna voice Lily?
I have like a combination of two, so it's like depending on mood.
Okay.
One is Meryl Streep in Silkwood.
Sandra talked about that earlier as a good voice.
Very specifically Meryl Streep in Silkwood, like standoffish, southern, smokes too many cigarettes, bratty, standoffish, determined.
Yeah, okay.
And then when Lily is like angry, begging, like wanting dinner, mad that her stepbrother Walter is like hogging the toys, Andy Garcia in The Godfather 3.
I've never seen The Godfather
Like
3.
Andy Garcia in The Godfather 3, and I'm not making this up, is literally like walking around like, biting his thumb. He's so mad and so Italian. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's just like, he's coiled rage. And so it's like,
That's
you know,
fun.
there's this version of Lily, and then there's that version of Lily.
Man, that's really fun. Now I want to think of more because I feel like I was putting myself in too much of a box before. You really inspired me. She could do a Shirley MacLaine. Oh, I think also sometimes she could be a real good, like, young Sissy Spacek. Kind of just like, huh?
What about Audrey Tattoo and Emalie? Mama, why?
Mama, why, please? Mama.
Please, I'm hungry. I starve.
Creme brulee.
Mama, I starve.
Or like really mad and bratty, like Reese Witherspoon in Freeway, which I know you love.
Yeah.
That's a good question, though.
That was a good question. That was a toughie, but it was fruitful.
But we made it through.
Yeah.
So.
That was a pretty short.
Wait, we need to tell people how to mailbag us. If you didn't know how to toss your bag at our mail or your mail at our bag,
Mail tips.
viva@scarecrow.com or 5030 Roosevelt Way, Northeast Seattle, Washington 98105. Send us your mail or come in and hand us your mail and take pictures of all your shit, your physical media collections, your cats, your dogs. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, tell us what you've watched, all the fun stuff coming up. And that is your mailbag.
I think I see the content warning right over there.
The following segment contains frank discussion of adult themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, perverts. I love historical fiction. Nothing like petticoats, wigs, and horny nobles to get me in the mood. That's why I want to talk about Dangerous Liaisons. Okay, pardon my fucking French. I'm not going to try to pronounce any of the names in this movie. I'm going to go by actors' names. Forgive me. This is directed from 1988 by Stephen Frears. It's based on the novel, the French novel, that came out in 1782, which was very scandalous. We'll get to that in a minute. The movie stars Glenn Close, John Malkovich, Michelle Pfeiffer, Uma Thurman, and Keanu Reeves.
Tell us what we should think of the opera.
Oh, it's sublime, don't you find?
Monsieur Danceny is one of those rare eccentrics who come here to listen to the music.
This cast is more stacked than my friend Emalie. Nice. Thank you. The film is about the Marquise, played by Glenn Close, who has been spurned by her lover. And as revenge, she enlists her frenemy slash other lover, fuck buddy, the Vicomte, played by John Malkovich.
I need you to carry out an heroic enterprise. You remember when Bastide left me?
Yes.
Went off with that fat mistress of yours whose name escapes me.
Yes, yes.
To seduce her ex-lover's virgin fiancé, played by Uma Thurman. Malkovich is a dirty, rotten scoundrel of a man who loves a challenge, loves to seduce women, and he also wants to seduce the noble religious Madame, played by Michelle Pfeiffer.
You see, I have no intention of breaking down her prejudices. I want her to believe in God and virtue and the sanctity of marriage and still not be able to stop herself.
And to add it all up, there's high stakes that if he can seduce both of these women, he gets to sleep with the Marquise, Glenn Close.
I don't suppose there's any possibility of an advance?
Good night, Vicomte.
So what follows is revenge, seduction, and death. It's so good, so horny. I love a historical romance. The costumes are amazing in this movie. The cast is great. This is Glenn Close's. She's serving pure cunt in this movie. I'll just get straight to it. She's amazing.
I thought betrayal was your favorite word.
No, no. Cruelty.
She just gives no shit. I love this movie because it's about, the corruption, the depravity of the French nobility. This is right before the French Revolution, which is why when the book came out, it was very scandalous. But then we know what happened to those people. In this movie, you get to see these rich people who literally get off on ruining other people's lives. They have too much time, too much money on their hands, basically, and they love being bad. They love being naughty. And I like that. I appreciate that.
I think I may be forced to burst in on you, see if blackmail will succeed any better than bribery. About 2 o'clock, suit you? I don't want to embarrass you.
If you're a fan of the 1999 movie Cruel Intentions, this will sound very familiar because it's also based on the same novel. And maybe someday I'll talk about Cruel Intentions on the show. If you want, let me know in the comments below. Love that movie. I'm a 90s bitch for sure. Supposedly, Michelle Pfeiffer and John Malkovich had a very hot and horny affair while making this movie, and it cost them both their marriages. So I get it. Okay, I don't usually think that John Malkovich is hot. He is so hot in this movie.
Education is never a waste. No. I think we might begin with 1 or 2 Latin terms.
I don't know, the brown wig, his horny piece of shitness. He can get it. Glenn Close is amazing as well. I think, did she win the Oscar for this movie?
No.
Which we'll find out. No, okay, never mind. She didn't win an Oscar. She fucking should have. She was robbed. Some icky news. Uma Thurman was very young when she made this movie, and she was really nervous about being nude. And I guess she thought that the takes that they put, the cuts, made it too voyeuristic, and it made her feel really uncomfortable. So she stopped doing nudity in movies after that. That sucks, but that happens too uncommonly in Hollywood. Also, trigger warning, there is a sexual coercion, sexual assault scene in this movie. It's very brief, but it does happen. I like this movie a lot. If you like historical romance or historical fiction, you like a good bodice ripper, I definitely would recommend watching this movie, especially since it came out, oh my God, it's the same age I am. It came out 35 years ago. Hope that makes you feel old. Give it a watch, especially Bridgerton's coming out soon. If you like that, this will totally be your jam. And then maybe do a dual watch with Cruel Intentions afterwards, a double feature. So yeah, 5 out of 5 sad mirror selfies.
I take it he hasn't been a great success.
Oh, he's been disastrous. Like most intellectuals, he's intensely stupid.
Yes, you heard it here. It's
dope.
Rapid Recs time. We haven't done this in a long time.
We got some Rapid Recs.
We have 10 categories, and me and Matt have chosen a movie for each category. But we're going to tell you our answers, and we're not going to explain ourselves. We don't need to explain ourselves to you. So it's up to you to get down your pen and paper or type on your little keyboard and take down these recommendations.
I'll explain myself to you for a $300 donation.
Yeah. I'll explain myself to you for a $250 donation.
Selling yourself cheap as usual. Whoa.
Wow!
You burnt.
Get me out of here for $300. If you donate $300, I'll quit the show.
Yeah,
But
again.
we will tell you these recommendations, and you just gotta fucking trust us on these ones, all right, you guys?
You gotta trust us. And the categories, by the way, were submitted by the dearly departed Kevin Clarke.
Hey everybody in Viva Physical Media land. Since I did the list, since I came up with the categories, I thought I should come up with a list of my own. So here's my rapid recs for this episode.
Little Space Guys.
I chose the movie Spaced Invaders.
I literally chose the movie Spaced Invaders.
Fuck yeah, high five.
Ain't life a bitch?
So for Little Space Guys, I picked the classic 80s movie Critters.
Philip Seymour Hoffman movie.
The Savages.
And death is gaseous and gruesome, and it's filled with shit and piss and rotten stink.
I chose Synecdoche, New York.
To delve into the murky, cowardly depths of my lonely, fucked up being.
Philip Seymour Hoffman movie, I picked Todd Solance's lives up to its title, Happiness.
Chicago movie.
I chose the Gregory Hines Billy Crystal buddy cop movie Running Scared.
Oh, fun. I chose the 2013 movie Drinking Buddies.
Ooh.
For Chicago movie, I picked the great Chicago set documentary Hoop Dreams.
William Gates.
Post-1980s Western.
Kelly Reichardt's Meek's Cutoff.
What are you doing, Emalie?
I'm going to fix his boot.
You shouldn't.
Well, I don't like it any more than you do. But I want him to owe me something.
1993's Tombstone.
Run! Tell all the other curs the law's coming! You tell them I'm coming! And hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Post-1980 Western, I picked the weird sort of indie Western, South of Heaven, West of Hell, written and directed by Dwight Yoakam, starring him too.
I truly admire your sense of duty, Marshal.
You're either coming or going. You choose.
A silent film.
The Giorgio Moroder version of Fritz Lang's Metropolis.
1928's A Woman of Affairs.
For silent film, I picked the great Murnau movie Last Laugh.
A concert film.
I kind of couldn't decide between two of them, and it's because I don't think we have a copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out of our shells tour.
I'm skipping stones. I'm a schoolboy painter's ass. I'm skipping stones.
So, aside from that, the Madonna Truth or Dare movie.
This was tough because I don't watch concert films like at all, but I chose Rolling Stones' Rock and Roll Circus.
I was born in a crossfire hurricane, and I howled in my morning driving rain.
Concert film, The Tammy Show. Give it a look, it's fucking great.
An outdoor adventure film.
Peter Weir's final movie, The Way Back.
No, jeśli zadeszczyli tekstoki, idejcie ciągle magazynie. Słońce idę na. Łazisz сказал. Могли бы wiesz ukrycia.
我去，сказал.
I chose Walkabout.
For outdoor adventure movie, I picked Survival Quest.
Gotta get the hell out of here.
Directed by Don Coscarelli, and actually it gives me a chance to give a shout out to our friend Brian Starr, who has like these director's shirts, and here is a Don Coscarelli film shirt from the title card of his great Kenny & Company.
An African film.
I chose not a movie that was made it was made in Africa, but not an African film. I chose a documentary about Africa called Darwin's Nightmare.
Ooh.
It's
Sounds
maybe
scary.
one of the saddest movies ever made.
I chose the 1966 movie Black Girl.
Personne ne pouvait voir ses yeux. Elle nous regarda à tour de rôle. Nous avions compris qu'elle cherchait une bonne. Les filles se ruèrent vers elle. C'était à qui serait choisi.
For African film, I picked the recent Neptune Frost, sort of a cyberpunk sci-fi musical. Really great.
A zany comedy.
What did I pick for zany comedy? Oh, Biozombie.
I chose the 2018 movie Blockers.
Oh, these are too short! Truth! I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my fucking god!
For zany comedy, I went way back to the beginning, and maybe the zaniest comedy of all time, in my opinion, is the Marx Brothers Duck Soup.
A tearjerker.
I chose the underappreciated, in my opinion, Akira Kurosawa masterpiece, Redbeard.
I chose the very appreciated 1957 movie An Affair to Remember.
Tearjerker, I picked, of course, James L. Brooks's masterpiece, Terms of Endearment, a movie that makes me cry from the beginning to the end, even when it's just being funny.
Can I give you a suggestion how to handle me, Vernon? Yes, ma'am. Don't worship me unless I've earned it.
Bye!
I think we're gonna have to get drunk.
That was a great Rapid Rex.
I hope you guys wrote those down because there's no way you can go back and see
you
what
have
we've-
to watch
what we
all of
talked
them.
about. Watch all of them. If you watch any of our Rapid Recs, let us know. If you have any rapid recommendations based on these categories, we'd love to hear them. Like, what are
Or-
your little space guys? What is your favorite outdoor adventure
If
movie?
you donate $100 and submit a Rapid Rex category, like 10 Rapid Recs,
Matt will get it tattooed on
we
his
will
back.
we'll do it on the
entire
show.
list. Wait, what do you mean we'll do it on the show?
It'll be like a donation round.
Oh, I see. I thought you just meant like their list of this.
And it doesn't
No,
have to
yeah.
be 10. It could be however many,
However many you
like
want,
try
you-
to keep it 10 or under.
Yeah.
It could be 100, whatever.
Yeah, don't do 100. We don't have that kind of time.
If they give us $1,000.
Right. But $100 will get you some Rapid Rex answers if you come up with some categories.
Yeah.
Donate
Any,
it.
like as wild of categories as you want.
Yeah.
To.
And
Cool.
but don't email those to Viva. Put them in your donation.
Unless you're gonna-
There's a note section on the online donation
People
form. Do it that way. That way we'll get them.
Yeah, do that. And that was. My first movie is a newer movie made in 2019, but it just came out on Blu-ray. It's called Ladyworld. And it's directed by Amanda Kramer. And this one certainly is not for everybody. Amanda Kramer, who also did the movie Please Baby Please and Give Me Pity. She has a new one at SIFF, a documentary about AI and like cyberspace in movies, which should be really interesting and cool. This movie is very strange. It's about a group of teenage girls who are at a sleepover and some sort of event happens. We think it's an earthquake.
Shouldn't we call our parents? Just to let them know we're okay. We were only shaking a minute or two.
And the entire house they're at is crumbled. They're now like underground. They have no way out. And it's these 8 girls, a lot of them unknown. The one that you probably recognize is Maya Hawke. They're trapped, no parents, no boys, just like all 8 girls, and they can't get out, and it just starts becoming really weird and theatrical and kind of Lord of the Flies-y.
No man touches us, gather hands. The ladies of the canyons are elect. No man touches us, gather hands.
The camera just kind of meanders through the house, and these girls are just kind of losing their minds, basically. They're forming hierarchies, and they're entertaining these like feral feelings once they realize they can't get out. One of the girls starts a rumor that may or may not be true that there is a man in the house.
We're not safe. I saw someone. I saw them. No, you didn't.
We were in every room.
Were we?
Lurking in the corners, waiting to rape them all.
Jesus.
And so that's just kind of in their minds, being like, we can't upset the man, or do we want to draw the man out? And so they're kind of fighting with these feelings as well. They're like putting on a shit ton of makeup and just like hawking loogies in the sink and like peeing in the dryer and shit.
Wait, why?
They're just kind of losing their minds because they can't leave this house, and no one is coming to help them.
That dryer is not going to be good now.
I know.
And whoever peed in the toilet is a stinky pig.
They're just like kind of resorting back to these animalistic tendencies, and they're saying they're doing all this because they want to like almost be like scarier than the man that they're trying to hide from, even though that man might not even be real. It's very like theater kid-ish in its direction. And it's just kind of, I don't even know if it for sure worked super, super well with me, but I really admired its spirit,
You
like
like the
what
swing?
it was doing. Yeah, I love the swing. They form these hierarchies. One group of girls is all about like, let's become like more violent and more outgoing, and let's get this man out, and let's like show them that we're women and we can fuck him up and stuff like that.
Because in the cellar we're his territory. But in here, we're pretty kitties. Knives, scissors, things to bash him with. He's a pervert who wants a peep show. So, we'll give him one.
And then these other girls are like, we need to find people to come help us. We need to keep our heads. If we don't have rules, then we're not going to be able to escape.
Well, let's vote. No, we're not voting. Put your hands down. We need the crystal, and we need the meetings, and we need the rules, or else we're not going to survive.
And they kind of turn on each other in that way. And then there's a lot of conversations about like, oh, girls don't get along. My parents always said girls don't get along.
My stepfather always says that pretty girls just want to be told that they're smart. And smart girls just want to be told that they're pretty. And that's why we're never happy.
Does society have to be created as a response to a male presence, even if there's no male presence? That like brings up questions like that. It's really, really weird. The score is some breathy human noises throughout. It's really unnerving. The end is left very ambiguous. And it's just kind of one of those things where afterwards I was like, what did I just watch? But all of these girls were fucking amazing in it. But it was also it felt very personal. It felt like some weird live journal entry or something like that. I talked to Kevin. Kevin saw it at Fantastic Fest a few years ago, and he said he fucking hated it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I definitely can see people just being like, this is not for me at all. And for a lot of people, it is not for them. And for me, I don't know if it necessarily was for me, but I was very entranced by the whole thing and very into kind of like the ideas it was bringing up.
Okay.
And I also really like her other movie, Please Baby Please, and I'm interested into seeing what Amanda Kramer does next. And Maya Hawke's always lovely to see. So
spitting image of her mom.
Literally, if you thought of two people who had a kid, it's just like, yeah.
Whenever I look at her, I'm like, it's baby Uma Thurman.
This movie was crazy, weird, such a swing, and I think it's worth checking out just to kind of experience something a little different.
Broken. It's broken. It's broken. It's broken. It's broken.
I told her not to.
Well, I'm independent.
Huge content warning on this one. This is one of the most unpleasant movies I've seen. This is a second watch for me. It's very unpleasant. I saw this about 10 years ago. It's great. It is a rape revenge film. It is one of the more unpleasant ones in the genre just because of how stark and how, I hesitate to use the word realistic, but how sort of honest it is and upfront and very, very understylized. And it just came out on Blu-ray.
What is it?
And it goes by two titles. Some people call it Handgun, but the title that's on Blu-ray is Deep in the Heart.
I've seen this.
It's very, very unpleasant, but also very good.
Yeah. I liked this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't say that to caution people from watching it just because but I just want people to know what they're getting into. You know what I mean? Because the assault part of this movie is really harsh. It's not necessarily explicit so much as it is very straightforward.
I love this cover.
It's very clinical.
Art is great.
This is about a young woman who is a school teacher who is very sort of timid and just a regular nice girl.
You need a man.
She's religious, but not like super religious. I wouldn't call her devout, but it's a part of her life. She's far away from her family. There's like a very important scene where she calls her mom and dad on the phone.
School is immense.
I've made friends with one of the teachers here.
Oh, that's nice.
And I go to her house every now and then.
Oh, that's good, like family.
And you get the sense that she's very close to her mom and dad, but they're far away. She's just a really nice woman, and she meets at a party this guy, Larry.
Obviously somebody around here knows what's going on, but I'm not getting any help from this turkey. Larry, Kathleen, don't hold it against her that you yanked it.
Who is a
First red flag's name's Larry.
Right, exactly.
Sorry,
he's a gun enthusiast.
Do you know what the Colt Single Action 45 1873 was called?
I don't know anything about guns.
Like second red flag. And he's very enamored with the history of Texas.
You can't possibly begin to understand history down here unless you know something about Colt revolvers.
And the fact that this takes place and is shot in Texas is a big part of the text. It's a big part of the idea of the movie. She starts to date Larry. They go out a few times. Larry's pushy, aggressive, but at the time that this movie came out, maybe right away she doesn't find that so obnoxious.
You have a nice body, Nothing wrong with that.
You, as a viewer now, looking at it today, are like, immediately this guy shows up and you're like, this motherfucker is trouble.
Right.
Anyway, one thing, I guess, leads to another. Larry ends up assaulting her.
I'm really sorry things got a little out of hand back there. But it's partly your own fault, for being so irresistible.
It is a very, very traumatic sequence, and the movie doesn't shy away from that at all, and it is not meant to be exploitative or entertaining. It is putting you there with the character who's experiencing this really horrible trauma, and you are meant to feel it with her. It's not sleazy or titillating or exploitative, in my opinion. I think it's really important that you have to sort of go through that with her to understand the rest of what happens in the story. From there, she sort of goes about developing her plan for revenge, which involves her getting a gun, which is a big part of the culture of Texas. And the movie takes great pains to sort of have her experience it as that part of it. Like, she goes to the gun range and learns how to shoot.
Yeah.
Kathleen. 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 Are you trying to kill someone out here today?
And the guys who teach her how to shoot at the gun range are like, honey, you should get a fucking gun. It's like a whole thing.
You're in a new world. This is free country down here, Kathleen.
Kathleen, where are you from? I mean, where's your home state? I mean,
Boston.
oh no wonder.
And then meanwhile, she goes to the police. She reports the incident right away. But cultural reasons, because of misogyny, because of evidentiary reasons, there's only so much they feel they can do for her. So she feels betrayed by that.
That was a real super run. Looked like she shot one of our local police officers.
She can't tell her parents. She's afraid to tell her friends because she feels ashamed. The movie goes into a lot of psychic detail about what it means for her to have experienced this and how she can actualize those feelings and what she's capable of doing with them. It's not just a plot device. We're not just looking at an exploitation movie here, right? It's a really thoughtful and clinical sort of deconstruction of her experience. When it does turn into the revenge part at the end, it's really, really satisfying, and not for the ways that you might think. Like, this isn't just a movie about how she goes out and gets her revenge and kills the guy. There's something much more subtle to it.
Society.
I wish you'd just open a school here as good an instructor as you were. You should just open a school here in Dallas for executive protection. You can teach them hand-to-hand combat. You can teach them pistol craft. It's fruitless. It's not fruitless. There's no discipline. You can look around and see what's happening in the U.S. of A today. The schools are doing real well.
There's a focus on humiliation that is really, really important and sort of thwarting the masculinity of this person who has harmed her. And I think that that's a really interesting take, because many, many, many movies in this genre kind of go the same prescribed route. And this has something very different at its core. It has a very different intent. Despite its sort of visceral, horrifying qualities, it is not meant to be just like a satisfying revenge film. There's more going on to it than that. It's not just about how we're going to get revenge on the guy who hurt us. It's more about how we're going to reclaim the qualities that we feel that were taken from us because of how we were harmed. It's a really interesting movie. It also, as I've mentioned a couple times already, takes the gun culture of Texas and the very masculine culture of Texas as like a jumping off point for all the rest of what's going on in it. Like, there's a whole part in this where she meets him and he's like, I'm into guns. And she's like, do you want to come and tell my class about the history of Texas and all the different guns that you have? It's so weird. No. Well, she thinks it's a cool idea at first because he seems like a nice enough dude, and that was the culture in the early 80s at the time. To us now, it's a giant red flag. And it's a really nice transfer of a movie that, it's been out on DVD, but I think, most people haven't even heard of it.
Yeah.
It's really, really terrific and shocking and emotional, and there's a lot of truth to it. It's very thoughtful in a way that you don't necessarily find with a lot of films in this subgenre.
God, guts, and guns have made our country strong. Now they're trying to take them all away. Yes, God, guts, and guns gonna keep our country strong. I hope I never live to see the day.
All right, so I'm going to talk about a movie that we all love here, that we just kind of discussed, that I just watched for the first time, and it was one of those movies...
This is your first time?
This is my first time.
Oh my God, okay.
It was one of those movies where I watched it, and I was like, why...
Where has this been all your life?
Why didn't people tell me about my new favorite movie?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was confused. It's Morvern Callar. And this is Lynn Ramsey's movie from 2002.
Her second feature.
I'm a big fan of Ratcatcher, which was her first feature. And her shorts are great as well. Lynn Ramsey's just amazing. This stars Samantha Morton, who is also absolutely incredible. I think all I knew about this movie was something about a dead boyfriend. That's like all I knew about it going in. And
It does have one.
I was like, all right, I'll throw this on. And I was immediately, this is it. Let's go. I'm in. This is my stuff. We start off with Samantha Morton laying on the floor of her apartment next to her boyfriend's dead body. And she's just kind of like touching his arm. He's slit his wrists. It's Christmas time, and you know that because the lights from the flashing Christmas tree are like reflected on their bodies. It's so fucking good. She gets up and she sees on their like clunky PC at home, it says read me, and it's a suicide note. And he left his manuscript of a book he had finished and instructions for publishing it, as well as a note saying, you know, I love you, be brave, there's money in my account. And she just kind of like takes it all in, which is what she does throughout the entire movie, with this kind of face that's just unfazed, kind of just observing and taking things in, and not even necessarily calculating her next move, because she goes very much minute by minute. She takes money out of his back pocket and she calls up her best friend, Lana.
That actress is incredible.
They found her, the casting director for this found her in like a hair salon.
She's amazing.
And they didn't give her the script for each day until the day of, so that she was very spontaneous, and so that she didn't overthink it because how she was so good.
She is Morvern's best friend.
Yeah,
like,
their best
it's
friend,
totally
so
believable.
Oh, I need a pee. I need to get a pee.
And this best friendship's just great. They like go out to the clubs, they like drop acid, they like do coke, they're like laughing and dancing. And she's not telling her friends that her boyfriend has killed himself.
Don't be daft, it's no big deal. Come here. Don't worry, he'll come back.
She's not lying though either, because they're like, where is he? Oh, he's at home. Like he's in the kitchen. I think he left me. Like things like that. She does this for a few days. She also has this mixtape that he made for her, and she's listening to this mixtape, and most of the soundtrack to this movie is through that mixtape, which
incredible soundtrack. You've got Can,
yeah.
You've got Lee Hazelwood,
you got Mamas and the Papas.
Mamas and the Papas, yeah.
There is a scene.
I don't want to hijack this from you, but this is one of my all-time favorite movies.
It's so good. Like I said, I'm like mad no one was like, Emily, why haven't you? I think maybe people just assumed I had already watched it. Eventually she's like, okay, I have to get rid of this body. And so in a scene that is the most perfect scene I've ever seen in my entire life, she strips down to her underwear, she puts on these aviator sunglasses, she duct tapes the Walkman to her stomach, puts on her headphones, listens to Velvet Underground's I'm Sticking With You, and dismembers her boyfriend's body in the tub.
Oh, I'm sticking with you, 'cause I'm made out of glue. Anything that you might do.
And it's so good. And it's not even, she's not doing it in a mean way. She's not doing it in a sad way. She's just like, all right, step by step, I gotta fucking do this because I want to keep living my life, and I loved him. He gave me the tools. I'm just gonna do this. And she dismembers him and buries him. All these songs are playing, and then Lana comes over and they like bake cookies and like do cocaine.
I really love how this movie is completely subjectively told through her point of view.
Yeah.
But it never tells you exactly what she's thinking or feeling.
Which is interesting because it is based off of a novel that relied heavily on the inner narration of the main character. So it's an interesting way that Lynn Ramsey decided to do it this way. Eventually, Morvern's like, hey, Lana, do you want to go with me to Spain? Don't even worry about the money. And Lana like feels really bad because she thinks that her boyfriend broke up with her because Lana had like slept with him in the past.
Look, Morvern, I know how terrible it must feel to you, but it really wasn't what you think. I'll understand if you don't want me to come on holiday. I'll stay here and look after the flat. It's not that I don't want to come, I'd love to come. You're my best friend, Morvern.
And Morvern's like, no, it's just literally no, don't even worry. And they go to Spain, and they go clubbing in Spain, but then they also like go to see Spain in like little villages, and Lana's like,
I mean, we could have been out clubbing it. Instead, we're fucking surrounded by donkeys and cactus.
we could be at the clubs right now. She's like,
well, they take that whole long trip.
Yeah, they take the whole long trip, and it's an interesting juxtaposition between like the fluorescent weird lights of like the supermarket where they work and the club in their tiny hometown to like Spain. There's no real point or like mission that they're on. She's just trying to kind of live life a little bigger than she was ever allowed to before. Mm-hmm. There's not like a conflict, but later she asks her best friend to like come with her. She just wants to leave. She wants to leave, and in a really like touching scene, she's like, it's towards the end, she's like ready to leave, and Lana's just like, it's the same shit everywhere. What are you doing? It's just gonna be the same shit wherever you go. And it ends, we were talking about this ending scene, you know.
The last shot of that movie, I would like to have framed on my wall, but moving.
This movie looks beautiful. It's such like joyful female friendship, but it's also like very deeply sad. And the soundtrack is absolutely incredible. It's like darkly funny.
I can't believe you haven't seen this before.
I can't
I'm
believe
so glad that you saw it and loved it.
I am
because,
too.
I mean,
absolutely
if somebody had asked me, like,
loved
what's a movie that Emily should know about and see, it would be this one.
Yeah, I absolutely am obsessed with it. I'm in love with it. It was the first movie in a long time where afterwards I was like, holy fuck, like that was for me. Like,
I think I need to watch that again right now.
Yeah, exactly. If you haven't seen it, if you're like me and this just somehow flew by you, like you gotta watch this.
This Blu-ray is brand new. It's only been on DVD before, I think.
Yeah, I've only seen it on DVD before. I didn't even know there was a Blu-ray until I saw it on our shelf just now. Yeah, check it out. Lynn Ramsey is Morvern Callar.
Total masterpiece.
Some velvet morning when I'm straight, I'm gonna open up your gate.
I picked this movie now. We only have this on VHS. I didn't watch this on VHS, but we only just finally got it, and there's no other physical media release of it, and it's a really incredible movie called Sun Don't Shine. Directed by the actress Amy Seimetz, who, you know, she's been in many, many cool things, but is clearly a very talented filmmaker in her own right. This is her debut feature, and this is, I don't even know what the fuck this is. This movie is very much like Morvern Callar in the sense that it is sort of very experiential. You're locked into the female protagonist's headspace the entire time. They are on some kind of road trip journey. You're not necessarily clear about what they're thinking, what they want, where they're headed, but you're entirely locked into their headspace the entire time.
I think all four of these movies that we've talked about are such weird journey through the maze of a female's mind.
Yes. Yeah, that is really coincidental.
That is really strange.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Someone watch all four of
these
in a day and tell us how you feel.
Yeah, and then donate $1,000.
Yes.
Caitlin Scheil, who is sort of like at the time was sort of like the queen of the mumblecore movement. She's a tremendous actress, and she plays, I think her name is Crystal.
Crystal Palms. Crystal Palms.
That's nice for you.
This movie starts with her in the middle of a fucking fist fight with her boyfriend, maybe, who's played by Ken Tucker Audley, who's a director as well. And we don't even know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And eventually we figure out that they're on the run because she was cheating on her husband with him and then killed her husband, and he saw it. They threw the body in the trunk and are driving to Florida.
Florida!
You're in Jacksonville, and I'm here alone with her. And neither of us are in the Everglades dumping your husband into the swamp.
And so what you have is like a Jim Thompson noir novel that's like part doomed romance, but partly these two characters, there's no actual love that you feel.
You don't want to make love to me.
You're supposed to tell her you're at home.
You think I got fat?
Chris, I know you talked to your mom back there on the phone. Did you tell her you were with me?
No, I didn't!
No, I'm not stupid.
Fuck, I'm gonna have to stop.
You want to take me to this woman's house so you can fuck her and you think I deserve it.
You just watch these two characters that are just doomed to be stuck together.
Yeah.
You know it can't possibly end well. You're sort of watching only the parts of the story that happen in between the important parts, like in between the plot. Like, they're going to Florida. I guess they think they're maybe going to try to get to Mexico or something. Who knows? But they don't seem to have any real agenda. He's a complete idiot, and she is a basket case. Like, she's clearly undergoing some kind of mental health crisis.
Do you see why we don't want to be putting this stuff on the side of the road like that? It's okay, Crystal. It's okay. All right? Okay, you ready to go get our sandwiches now?
She's not really present with him either. And then they end up sort of encountering all these different people. Ken Tucker oddly meets his ex-girlfriend. That turns into a whole showdown with a knife. They try to rent a boat. That doesn't work so good. At one point, Crystal goes to the mermaid show, and she watches the mermaid show. There's this, it sort of all takes place in this reverie. And all you're experiencing is the immediate emotional crisis that this one woman is experiencing.
Yeah.
And there's no way to know exactly what she's going through. And it's not even that you empathize with her, it's that you're just experiencing her fear and terror and anxiety for 80 solid minutes. And that's the thing, this movie is 80 minutes long. It's just like in and out. It throws you into the pool, and at the end of the movie, if you haven't drowned yet, then good for you. It's really tremendous. It looks gorgeous. It's shot on beautiful digital, like, sun-drenched, humid, florid, like Florida.
Yeah, like shot in St. Petersburg,
Yeah.
it looks like.
Shot, by the way, on equipment lent to the production from the Northwest Film Forum, courtesy Megan Griffiths, our good friend.
Oh, yeah. Got some local ties.
There's not a lot really to go into describing this movie that I haven't already elucidated, but it's kind of like if Morvern Callar was written by Jim Thompson and was made into an 80-minute long movie.
In Florida.
In Florida. It's so good. And
seriously,
it's really,
I want someone to watch all 4 of these in a day
Yeah.
or two and get back to us about the vibes.
It's not easy to see. We didn't even have this until recently, and for some reason it's only on tape. I mean, you can find it online, so I guess, I can't discourage you from doing that.
Right.
But, Amy Seimetz needs to direct more movies. She made a movie a couple years ago called She Dies Tomorrow that I thought was really good, too.
That was cool. I liked this better.
No, this is better, but I like that.
Yeah,
And
she does need to make more. For a minute,
she's done a lot
I
of
thought she had
television and
done
stuff,
something
too.
else, but I think she just acted in a bunch
She
of stuff.
did part of a season of that show, The Girlfriend Experience, that a lot of people haven't checked out, but her stuff
haven't.
is really good, too. Anyway, this is like a 1 in a million and has been hard to see for a really long time. It's kind of a relic of a time where a movie like this could even get made and distributed. I don't think this would ever come out now.
Well, come to the store, rent it. We also rent out VCRs if you're in need.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have a deposit on it.
Nope.
So check out Sun Don't Shine. It is absolutely amazing, and it only takes 80 minutes of your time.
Well, Matt, we finally did it. We finally did Greyfriar's Bobby.
Oh, Greyfriar's Bobby.
Greyfriar's Bobby.
Oh, Greyfriar's Bobby.
Bobby, get out of the Kirkland.
I thought
whatever the cemetery is called. What was it called?
I don't remember.
It was like the
I watched it this morning and I don't remember.
I watched it this afternoon, and I really liked this movie.
It's a good movie. It's a strange movie.
This is 60s Disney, and you better get used to it.
Yeah. Interesting period special effects and stuff. When you would see the street in the town, it was all matte paintings and stuff.
Oh, yeah, because they shot some establishing shots in
Scotland.
And then they did a bunch of stuff on soundstage and stuff, which I think looks cool.
I think it looks really cool.
Because then I imagine, like, being there.
Yeah.
And you're just like, whoa.
Well, what's this movie about?
This movie is about a little dog named Bobby.
Go and get him, Elsie, and take him into the house.
He'll not come for anybody but old Jock, Father.
Aye, he'll come for me.
Who loves the shepherd that they hire named Old
A shepherd
Jock.
body named Old Jock.
And he's old, and he's sick. And they can't afford to keep him around anymore. And so they take him into town, and before they do, they give the dog to the little girl, and they're like, you're the new owner.
You come to me as if you belong to me. But he'll know well as yours, Elsie, if you take a wee bit of trouble with him.
Ah, Bobby boy, shall I give you some breakfast, eh?
I do that, lassie. Well, Jock, are you ready to go now?
They take Old Jock out to pasture. Like, they take him out. They literally take him out to die.
No, they take Old Jock into town because they're going to go sell their wares. And on the way, the farmer tells Old Jock that he can't afford him anymore and he's got to let him go.
Yeah.
But okay,
not in a mean way at all.
Not in a mean way. No, it's not. It's
just times are tough.
Times are tough.
Well, times are very hard.
The farmer and his daughter, Bobby is their dog, but Bobby loves Old Jock.
Is Bobby really my own dog now? To do what I like with?
Aye, he's yours.
And old Jock will not mind it? Bobby, come back!
And he follows them into town. And then what happens is Old Jock is sick.
He has pneumonia.
It's cold. He gets caught out in the rain. And the man who owns the tavern is like, go to a
He's an old
doctor.
friend. He's like, Jock, you come in here. Jock comes into that tavern every day at the gunshot, like the bell or whatever.
The gunshot bell.
I mean, that's the thing, I guess.
Yeah.
It's called.
6 bells. Time for gunshots.
Yeah. And the guy who owns the tavern, he lives by himself and he like lives at the restaurant or something. And he's like, hey, you're really sick.
Why don't you go to a doctor?
Let's get you to the infirmary. And Old Jock's like,
The infirmary's for poor people that are dying. No man leaves the infirmary alive.
Jock, that's no true.
the guy goes to get the doctor and Old Jock leaves and it's like, he's not taking me, so he hides Bobby in his cloak and he goes to like a motel.
The inn. Yeah.
And there's a really cute scene of Bobby just peeking out of his cloak as he gets carried up the stairs. And then they're up in the room doing tricks and having fun. He's like, sit, roll over.
Oh, down now, down. Oh, boy. Good, good. Die for your country. Die for your country now. Yeah, that's a good laddie.
Die for your country, and the dog goes like, ah!
Yeah. But then overnight, Old Jock
doesn't make it
away, which is really sad. And Bobby's like licking his hand, trying to wake him up.
It's very sad.
Oh.
The town buries him in the local cemetery, but Bobby is obsessed with his best friend, Old Jock, and goes into the cemetery and lies down on the grave.
What are you doing there?
Now, here we come to a problem because apparently dogs aren't allowed in the cemetery.
You're supposed to be such a learned man. Can you not read the regulations?
No dogs allowed.
Imagine Snoopy trying to go to a Scottish cemetery.
Can you imagine, like Charlie Brown dies of pneumonia at the inn?
I know.
And
When Snoopy can't lay on his grave.
You know what though? Here's the thing about Snoopy.
He lays on the grave like at the top of his doghouse.
I don't think Snoopy would. I don't think he would do it.
I don't think he
I don't think he
He'd get
loves
over
Charlie
it.
Brown enough.
He may not have a girlfriend, but at least he's cool. Joe Cool.
What happens is Bobby spends his days hanging out at the tavern, getting food from that guy.
And like playing with the local kids
who are all really poor.
Really poor.
Really poor.
Like I'm talking like their clothes have holes in them.
He's skinned a wee dog chicken to eat. Real chicken? So a wee dog.
One kid's got crutches. This is like Tiny Tim times 1,000.
He does get better crutches though, which is pretty
true.
cool. And then in the evenings, Bobby sneaks back into the cemetery.
The man who owns the tavern he keeps like contriving ways for Bobby to get back into the cemetery because he doesn't like the guy who runs the cemetery.
Would you like to earn a sixpence?
A sixpence? Aye, I would.
Then it's yours. If you know a way to smuggle this wee dog into the kirkyard yonder.
He would love if Bobby was just like fine hanging out with him because he's lonely. He said he's like, I'm all alone. Like, I do love your company. But, you know, I can tell you really just want to be with
old Jock.
With old Jock. And also, you love that cemetery. Also, I kind of think that guy's a piece of shit, so I'm going to
I don't like that
I'm gonna
guy.
fuck around.
Exactly. And then the guy who runs the cemetery, he doesn't really like dogs,
He
but
doesn't
at the
really like
same
anybody.
time, exactly, he's kind of a curmudgeon. But then his wife is like,
He's going out and staying out. If I have to take him to the police myself.
He's killed his own weight in vermin. Look here and over there, too. And you know well how they pester the kirk.
the dog is great. Let's wash the dog, give him a bath. We don't have kids.
You used to say that a dog was good company.
Yes.
They wash him. They make him look nice.
So
and he's kind of like.
It becomes clear that everybody in the town likes the dog.
They love him. And Bobby is a good dog. This dog actor who was named Bobby, and we'll get into that a little later because I sent Matt an article.
There's a whole story about that.
He's great. He's very cute.
The Skye Terrier.
He doesn't have a ton to do, but he does it well. You know, he's
not
lovable.
really. He's like the catalyst of the narrative, but the movie focuses on the people
and how his presence affects the people.
Affects them.
Much like some of the other movies we've watched, it kind of reminded me of that movie Red Dog, which I think I watched with Kevin maybe before.
I haven't seen
it was
that.
the Australian movie. And then, you know, movies where it's about how one dog kind of impacts a community.
Yeah. But anyway, what ends up happening is that there's a dispute over who owns the dog.
The dog is not my dog. I'm no his master. He does not sleep under my roof.
Then who is his master and where does he sleep?
His master's in his grave in old Greyfriar's kirkyard these many months, and the dog sleeps on the mound.
Because somebody's got to own the dog and pay for its license. And if they don't pay for its license,
If this dog is ownerless and unlicensed, it will have to be taken up with the police.
That doesn't seem fair to me.
Fair, sir, fair. That is the law. Masterless dogs have become a perfect nuisance in this town. Unless this dog's license is paid, it will have to be put away, and that'll be the end of the matter.
then we're going to have to put him down. So there's like a whole courtroom movie at the end of this.
And while the license is only 7 shillings, and the guy who runs the tavern could easily pay for it, the principal of the thing...
Principal? What principal?
I can't be responsible for what is not my own.
Bobby doesn't have an owner. He's an independent dog. But once the kids get word...
that they're gonna kill Bobby.
That this ragtag group of poor kids scrapes up enough shillings...
7 shillings. And that's like a penny from like 150 million kids.
Yeah, that's some crazy math. And they do it. And they dump it. They go to the court and they dump it out.
Is it you I pay, mister? It's 7 shillings if you wish to count.
But where did you parents get all this money from? And how?
Everybody round the kirkyard gave it. To pay the place not to mock Bobby did. I gave for father, Mr. Trail.
Here's what kind of... I was like, what? Because the judge sees this and he smiles and he takes out a collar that he already had like inscribed with Bobby's name.
He probably...
And I'm like, why the fuck were you making everyone go through all this argument about who owns Bobby, blah, 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 when you were already going to give Bobby the keys to the city?
I bet that's the judge's collar and his name's Bobby and that's his kink.
He's great for his Bobby.
He just had it.
Collar.
He just had a collar for himself ready.
And so he's like, you know what? Clearly the town loves you, Bobby. He like puts Bobby up on the podium.
Ah,
and he's like,
Bobby.
Oh, Greyfriar's Bobby. And he gives him a collar because you can't be without a collar because you got to make all the... Also, that one local policeman, that fucking dork.
That guy sucks.
Yeah, he
He's a
sucks
narc.
so bad. And they like call him out on it a bunch. Like everyone
Well,
thinks he's stupid.
when the guy who owns the tavern is like,
Next time you're near my dining rooms, come in and let the wee dog you're persecuting give you a lesson in manners and morals. Bobby at least has never bit the hand that feeds him. But you have, Davy. And you've had many a free meal from me.
Silence!
They're like dragging this guy.
Wow.
Well, if you already had the collar made, why are you making everyone argue about this for a while? Because there's nothing going on in Greyfriars. That's why. Like maybe focus
people
more
ain't
on
got
like
shit to do.
educating your children. I don't know.
One thing I really liked about this movie, I mentioned the special effects and the sets, but I really liked the recurring image of every night the guy has to light the gas lamps in the alleys.
See, that's what I imagine, like, walking through. Oh, I don't know. It's really cool. And then they flash forward, and it's like springtime, so there's grass and flowers growing over old Jock's grave, and the kids are like kicking their ball around, and the one kid like went to school. Everything's like better now.
Yep.
And Bobby is
lifted
part
up
of
the community.
the community.
Yeah.
Good night, Bobby. Good night to you, Bobby. I'll see you in the morning. Good night, Bobby. Good night. Sleep well. Yep, play with you in the morning. Good night, Bobby.
And it was just very heartwarming.
Sweet. And 90 minutes.
In 90 minutes. And I watched it like half the time my dog was literally just like sleeping on my chest. And it was just like, mwah. It was perfect.
So it was good.
Yeah, I really liked it a lot. I liked it so much more than I thought. I don't know what I was expecting, but...
Yeah, I was expecting something a lot like sadder, a lot more like...
I'm so happy it wasn't
more
that
of a
sad.
pointed drama.
Because then I texted Kevin about this, and Kevin was like, oh yeah, like the Futurama episode. And I was like, absolutely not.
No.
I was like, absolutely not, no. I'm never, no.
No, we don't want that.
No.
I can't ever watch that again.
And then he also related it to a movie called Hachi, which I'm never watching because the Letterbox reviews... Yeah, I don't give a fuck if it's really good because the Letterbox reviews are like, this movie made me want to kill myself.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's too sad.
We're not doing it. That was one of the outlawed. I've talked about it on the show before, but there's a few outlaw dog movies that I won't touch. Marley and Me, Hachi, etc.
Yeah, we can't handle that.
So this was like perfect because it ended well. So this is a true story, however true that may be.
Yeah.
But there is a statue of Bobby. I guess it's right in front of what maybe is that pub, because I looked it up and there's a pub called Greyfriar's Bobby's Pub, basically, and the statue is like right in front. What I sent to Matt, because I was trying to find out more about the dog actor, like I always try to find out the dog actor, found out his name was Bobby, and then found out there was this whole thing where they found out the dog actor, I don't even know. He was adopted by someone working on the movie or whatever, as they usually are in these cases. And when he passed away, they buried him in the yard of the house they were at, and then they moved. And then it was brought to the attention that that land was going to be demolished. So they're like, well, we can't just let...
Greyfriar's Bobby's grave be decimated.
The actor who played Greyfriar's Bobby, whose name is Bobby, we have to find his grave. They like tore up all this land, and they didn't think they were going to find it. In the last 10% of land, they found the tiny little coffin.
His tiny coffin. He was in a coffin.
Of course, only the best for Bobby.
Beautiful.
And their hopes, this article is from 2021, and their hopes was to bury him next to the real Bobby, next to the grave and the statue. And I'd like to think that happened.
I choose to believe that it did.
Because what else they're going to do with it, you know? Yeah. So that was kind of an interesting update.
How many paws are you going to give this?
I'm going to give it 3.5 paws.
Same.
Yeah. I really liked it. And that was a cute dog. It was feel good. It didn't make me too sad, but it did hit some, An
interesting diversion from the kind of dog movie we usually watch, where it was like sort of this community portrait rather than
and I loved the set design of everything.
Looked
and
great.
I liked the little town. There was also a 2005 Greyfriar's Bobby movie. So
which I haven't seen.
Who knows? That might be in the future. But the closer future that we have is something a little different.
Good Boy.
We're watching Good Boy.
What's this about?
Yeah.
Well, it says Rover is about to take over. You read the back of it.
All right, a big treat for the whole family. Get your paws on this irresistible family adventure starring Molly Shannon, Liam Aiken, and Kevin Nealon, featuring a hilarious four-legged cast with voices by Matthew Broderick, Delta Burke, Donald Faison, Cheech Marin, Brittany Murphy, Vanessa Redgrave, and Carl Reiner.
Wow.
This heartwarming tale is a furry romp that both kids and parents can laugh at together. 12-year-old Owen has a new dog, Hubble, who can not only sit, stay, and roll over, he can also speak. Literally. Turns out Hubble is an interplanetary agent from the dog star Sirius.
What the fuck?
Now Owen is about to discover that Hubble and all his canine buddies are on a mission to rule the world.
Wait, this is about alien dogs?
Yep. I wonder if they're going to make the dogs' mouths move in that really unnerving way that
That's
they
always
did when they first
the gamble. Is like,
Yeah.
are the dogs just going to like have voices, or are they going to move their mouths?
I'm kind of excited. We haven't done like a dumb
Well, this is like
in a while.
2008 or something, so they probably talk.
Yeah. Well,
we'll find out.
We'll see. So stay tuned, and if you want to watch this with us before next time,
good luck.
Our guest. Okay, that was episode 75, our diamond anniversary.
Send us those diamonds.
Send us
you
those
cheapskates.
diamonds. Actually, you can send diamonds in the form of cash to Scarecrow because we're fundraising right now. Everything is doubled. Don't you forget it. Send us mail, viva@scarecrow.com. Come visit our store if you're in the area, or you can always rent by mail no matter where you are in the country. You can support Scarecrow Video in some way. Follow us on all of the things like our letterbox. I just updated our complete letterbox list of movies we talk about. I also created a list of my raunches, and I will create a list of your ROMs pretty soon, or the ones that I can figure out.
And vote for the last raunch versus
Oh yeah,
ROM.
vote for. I mean, there's lots of votes already, and let's just say it's not looking good for How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
That's okay. I'm fine with that.
Follow us on all the stuff. Comment, like, subscribe, tell all your friends, and Viva Physical Media. Watch some good stuff soon. Goodbye.
Hail Satan.